I am going to attempt my first video blog this week, and I think I have to thank one of our blog readers, Lynn, for sending me some great questions, and I thought about them and I thought it might be fun to answer them, and we're going to do that this week. How I deal with rejection. How does anyone deal with rejection? I have to say, I've often thought when I've gone for auditions, why? Why did I do that? Why did I go? Because, you know, you get ready, it takes you forever, you memorize it, you get nervous, you go, you do it, you're excited until like the next day and you don't get a call back and you think, why do I put myself up for this? But then, if you don't put yourself out there, you don't gain anything, you don't get anything. So I think I'm always driven by that. And I'm not a person who likes to sit still, so that drives me to do almost anything. And I have great moments of ambition that are usually followed up with, oh geez, what am I going to do with that? But I just keep on trucking. And people have even said to me, do you think you'll retire someday or whatever? I'm like, retire? Retire from what? Like, retire from life? I mean, you just got to keep on trying. And somebody told me once a great thing to do, like for an audition or if you have some big event that you're so worried about, is make a plan for right after. Like meet somebody for a coffee or plan that you're going to go to lunch with someone right after, so that you don't go home and wallow in your self-pity. And that actually helped pretty much too. Just make sure like I get in, get out. I got 1,000 other things to do that day. Then it doesn't seem so bad. Like I have a bigger life than that event. I told a friend recently, gosh, I feel like I've been so lucky in my life. I'm so lucky that the stork dropped me where they did even. I mean, let's go way back. Just that I've had this nice life. And my friend said, it's not luck. It's that you're fortunate. It's because I've worked really hard to have the life I have. I think I was born with an incredible, resilient personality, which is a blessing, and I'm thankful for that. I don't hold on to things, and I am a hard worker. I think from very early on, as I've said before, my mother was a single mother. If we wanted shoes, not better shoes, but the groovy, hip thing that wasn't sturdy, you had to get a job. And I'd get a job as a volunteer. I always started as volunteering because then I thought, well, somebody will see what I've got, and then they'll hire me, which did usually happen. And my husband and I always say that we're hustlers. I mean, we are always looking for work and always figuring out how we're going to change things up and keep things going. And even in I would say my professional dark hours of not working as much as I wanted to, I still was always hustling, always doing a vegetable garden or doing helping a friend decorate something or taking a cooking class. I mean, I'm always doing something, but all those things I think build my life. I think for the most part, what you see is what you get with me. I feel friendly with people that I've never met. I always make a point to thank my busboy that gives me water and almost want to find out his whole life story. I mean, I am interested in people and talking with people, and I'm very talkative. And I think when I go to work, that's actually a fun time because I think I talk more there. I always joke like I only go to work really just so I can talk. So maybe I'm a little quieter at home just because I think I wear myself out or something, or wear everybody else out or something. My real life is so much lighter than any acting jobs I've ever had, and I'm pretty happy all the time. And with you guys too, the bloggers, I try to be as open as possible. Like I'm just like this, like I'm talking to my friends, and I really feel like that when I'm typing it out, like I'm just talking to friends. And so you have to interview my husband and ask him if he knows some other side of me, but only if he makes me mad. So on the topic of kissing in a scene, it's kind of run the gambit, I think, over the years. But I do remember that when I was on Days of Our Lives in the beginning, my husband was a resident at a county hospital, and there was a big screen television in the cafeteria, and he was eating, and someone cleaning the table said to him, like, boy, that girl sure can kiss. And he said, it's my wife. It was always like that. But generally, he doesn't watch it. We don't talk about it ever. In fact, just the other day, I have never really done this, and I said something about a kissing scene with someone, I won't say, and he kind of looked at me funny, like, why would I tell him that? And I thought, why did I just say that? Because I never do that. For someone like with Stephen Nichols, who I have known for 29 years, we laugh and joke all the way up to it, and we just kiss, and then we kiss, and it's fine. And I don't know exactly what I think about, what I'm thinking about, or whatever. It's not romantic. That's the part I must say. It's not romantic. With him, it's fun. It's fine. But there's so many people standing around, and since I'm married, if I really thought it was real, I think I'd be blushing and embarrassed myself. But I don't know. I'm committed to my character, Kayla, and I'm invested in the story, and I'm playing the story, and you just imagine that you're in that story with that person. Does that sound good? Can you understand that? But that is kind of what it is. I remember when I was doing The Bay, they brought in Joe Landau, which I had never met him before. And it was first he walks up and like kisses me, and it was almost like, I think actually I had to run out. I was going somewhere, and right after we finished that kissing, I was like, oh, nice to meet ya, because that's about what it was, and that was pretty funny. I think you said in your email that you were shy and you couldn't imagine doing that, but if I was that shy, I wouldn't be doing it, you know what I mean? So I was always sort of a precocious kid, and also, actually, my mother, this is a good story, when I was a kid, my mom had a friend that would bring her son over to play, and he went running up to my mother once and said, could you please get her to stop kissing me? So I think I was always a kisser anyway. I'm a very tactile, lovey, huggy, kissy person, and I'm like that with my kids, my husband, everybody. So I think that part kind of comes naturally anyway, because I'd probably be kissing him because he's my friend. More on the cheek, probably. And we don't kiss usually even up to the scene. I mean, even rehearsals, you kind of maybe kiss on the cheek, or you kiss, or you fake it. You say, okay, I'll be kissing you there, and then da-da-da-da, and then you do it for tape. So, we always make sure we do mints, so we don't offend anybody. But I think you get into a trusting thing. You trust that person, and you're both invested, and you both are doing it, and you want to sell the story. And somebody had said to me once about acting anyway, that it's sort of like reading a story, and where do you fit in to move the story? And I have been nervous, but generally I'm not so much. About balancing my life. I have to say I don't ever think of it that way. I mean, I think I balance, it's a balance to work for anybody and make dinner for my husband. Now that my kids are grown, I just have my lover here. And now that I'm working a lot nowadays, it's so much memorizing. And if he says he wants to do anything, I'm saying, could you please go? Because that'd be great, because then I could do this without feeling like I'm shortchanging him. That whole acting thing and the makeup and the hair and the whole thing, I think I showed in the one of my last blogs about makeup and hair. You just show up. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, but you just show up laundered, and they make you look like that. And I always thank them as I'm leaving the makeup room, because it's like, thanks for the transformation, because it's a big deal, But I don't live that life any which way other than there. And there, it's like a big warehouse. It's like hanging out with your best friends. At home, I hardly wear makeup. I feel better if I start my day with a blow dry and a little bit of makeup. I feel better, but that doesn't usually happen. But I just went out to dinner with friends after work, which today's after work, so I look like this today. But they just kept saying, like, oh, wow, you look so good, and geez, your hair looks so good. And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I should spend a little more time on it. So, learning dialogue. It's funny, I just did episodes of Chasing Life. The way they do it on nighttime, they shoot like 7 pages a day. And my scene maybe is a page, and maybe I had 3 little paragraphs. I could barely remember them, and I could go over a bunch of times, and I didn't know them, and I, and in a nighttime show, if you blow it, they seem to just, unless it's a big sweeping shot, then you have to start over, which is terribly embarrassing. Okay, back to 1, and every camera and everything's moving back, and you're just like, oh, jeez, okay, of my life. I really think it's partly being relaxed, because on Days of Our Lives, I can remember 30 pages. You hand me 2 pages right now, I could look it over and do the scene, because I'm so relaxed and I so know the character. For me, when nerves get into play, then I just can't remember anything. It's just like a block. For auditions, it's like that too. It's so hard to remember the little couple pages. How I ever got any parts, I don't know. But soap operas, I think you understand the cadence of the way that they write, and you understand the sort of structure of how they do it, and you know the other person so well. And so I read through it, and then I also will look at it earlier, but generally have to learn it the day before. But if I look at it like on the weekend, it's really good, because I know if there's something really big that I need to give it extra attention. But otherwise, I'll do it the night before, because I have to add the element of panic, because I think I have a little bit of that squirrel personality. And if I don't have a little panic and ultra focus, I just daydream my head off, and it's really hard. So I do a little bit better panicky, and I start at the top and I learn a few paragraphs, and then I go back to the top and I learn a few more, and I just keep adding and going back and adding. And then by the time I go to bed at night, I like to have a pretty good feel for it and pretty much know it, where I'm anticipating what it is. I cover up their line and whatever, and I know it. And then when I get to work the next day, hopefully you have enough time that, you have that whole hair and makeup thing, which is, an hour and a half or whatever, to work on it and run it. And the other actors usually come in and we run it. So the later you are in the day, usually the better it could be, because you had more time to work on it. But a lot of times on Days of Our Lives in particular, if you're at the end of the day, they are in a rush. So they'll say, can you go straight to tape? So there's no rehearsal. You just walk out there and do it. And it's basically what you brought to the table. So I can't remember a phone number for a half a breath. I cannot remember a phone number. Or names. Beauty tips. I've tried so many different things. I have been at the mall where somebody has sold me the 5 products I need for nighttime, then daytime, different regimen, $1 billion, and then a huge rash. That then I go to the dermatologist and spend the money to correct the problem. So I have found, through going to a dermatologist, when that all happened, when I was in my 20s, to use Cetaphil from the grocery store. So that's usually what I use, Cetaphil or a Neutrogena oil-free acne wash. I kind of go back and forth with them. And a little thing for my grandmother was, and I think maybe my mother too, is to use a washcloth. So either a Clarisonic thing, like a brush dealy bob, or a washcloth with warm water and one of those soaps, and I do circles and really try to get my makeup off. And I don't go to bed with makeup on ever. Well, there's been a couple times, and then it's been a rough night before. I've been using a really nice glycolic cream. It's like 10% that somebody told me about, which seems to help the pimples kind of take it easy. And then Kiehl's Ultra something yellow cream. But it's a battle. I mean, now getting older, it's hard, and combination skin, and you get. I always thought, you can't have wrinkles and pimples. Give it up. I mean, one or the other, right? And as far as clothes, I don't know. At my age, I don't wear sexy things. I don't like sexy things. I don't like all that skin out. I know people who are way older than me and still showing a lot of cleavage, and I mean, it works for them, but that's just not for me. I think I see myself more cute, and I don't know what the age cutoff for that is. Maybe there already. I don't know. But I mean, I'd rather wear striped dresses and colorful shoes, or sparkles or things. So I just try to. I always. That's why I always say that I think I'm better in funky a little bit than I am glamorous. It's just not my style, and I'm more comfortable if it's a little offbeat. So I think clean skin and turtlenecks. That's my beauty tip. And here's my big beauty tip, and I was going to blog separately about this, but I got to throw this in. I had the same with my daughter always. She'll joke, like I used to always say, no chipped polish, and your hands and feet should look like candies, and you got to, if you can't afford a pedicure and a manicure, then do it yourself. But you should take care of your hands and feet, and get a scrubbing pumice, and do the bottom of your feet. And I'll be in an exercise class, and I'll see everybody with the kind of, rough, dirty bottoms, and I'm thinking, why don't, of their feet, and I think, why don't they scrub those up? And my daughter too, she knows. I mean, if she ever, red chip polish, she'll always say something to me like, oh, sorry, I know, I need to take that off. Because she knows, I've always said, like, no, it's better to have nothing, have clear polish, and just have your hands and feet be tidy. I just think that's a big deal, especially your feet. Like, scrub them and get them soft. You can put Vaseline on them and gym socks and wear them to bed. You'll be shocked how soft they are in the morning. But so yeah, I'm big on that hands and feet thing. It must be the Pisces in me, but I like clean hands and feet too. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our video blog this week. And I want to thank Lynn again for giving me these questions. They were so good and so thought out. And I want to encourage everybody to send in your ideas of blogs that you would like to read. Because I'm, every week I'm really, what's it going to be, thinking about what it could be. And so I'd love that. I don't know if I can get to all of them, but if you guys send them in, then maybe I can either write about them or video blog them or whatever, but it's so helpful if I know what you want to read about too. I hope you guys stay tuned and tell your friends, and it's been a lot of fun for me. Thank you. See you next week.